Vinícius Júnior, a name that resonates with defiant passion and a journey marked by relentless perseverance. Imagine a young man who rose from the toughest streets of São Gonçalo to become one of Real Madrid's most explosive talents, defying critics, overcoming adversity, and proving that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, greatness is born. If you believe in the power of resilience and the triumph of the human spirit, hit that like button and subscribe now, because this story of transformation is one you won't want to miss. Born and raised in São Gonçalo, a sprawling and vibrant city on the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro, Vinicius's earliest memories are filled with the echo of cheering neighbors, the rhythm of samba, and the unmistakable beat of a football bouncing off cracked pavements. In a community where opportunities were scarce and dreams often had to fight for survival, the beautiful game was more than a pastime. It was a way of life, a beacon of hope in a world that too often seemed determined to keep its youth down. As a child, Vinicius would play barefoot on uneven streets, using anything he could find as a ball, his eyes alight with a spark of ambition. In those formative years, every kick, every sprint, was a declaration of defiance against the limitations that life imposed on him and his family. His mother, a pillar of strength who worked tirelessly to make ends meet, and his father, whose quiet dignity and steadfast love instilled in him the belief that hard work could overcome any obstacle, watched with pride as their son transformed every hardship into fuel for his dreams. It wasn't long before Vinicius's raw talent became impossible to ignore. Local coaches and neighborhood scouts marveled at his extraordinary speed, his mesmerizing dribbles, and an innate ability to outsmart defenders with moves that seemed almost magical. Recognizing his potential, one of Brazil's most prestigious football clubs, Flamengo, extended an invitation to join their renowned youth academy. For Vinicius, this opportunity was both exhilarating and humbling, a chance to refine his gift in an environment dedicated to excellence, yet also a reminder that the path to greatness was paved with challenges. In the hallowed training grounds of Flamengo, he learned not just the technical skills of the game, but also the discipline, resilience, and tactical intelligence required to succeed at the highest level. Every day brought new drills, new lessons, and new opportunities to prove that he was destined for something far greater than the streets of his hometown. At Flamengo, Vinicius encountered mentors who recognized that his talent went far beyond natural ability. It was his heart and his relentless work ethic that set him apart. Coaches spoke of his instinctive understanding of the game, his fearless commitment on the field, and his willingness to push himself to the limit every single day. It was here that the foundations of his future were laid, not only as a footballer, but as an individual who would later face immense public scrutiny and personal challenges with unwavering resolve. As he honed his skills in Flamengo's competitive environment, his reputation grew, and so did the expectations placed upon him. Every match, every training session was a step closer to the dreams that had driven him since childhood. And yet, even as he dazzled local fans with his ingenuity and flair, the world beyond Brazil beckoned with promises of even greater challenges. The leap to Real Madrid was a moment of both triumph and trepidation. In 2018, at the tender age of 18, Vinicius left behind the familiar warmth of Brazil for the storied halls of the Santiago Bernabéu, a place where legends are born and where the pressure to perform is as intense as the bright lights that shine down on every match. For many, this move was the ultimate dream, a ticket to the grand stage of world football. But for Vinicius, it also meant confronting an entirely new set of challenges, a language barrier, cultural differences, and the relentless scrutiny of a global media machine that rarely gives second chances. In a city where every pass, every sprint, and every moment of brilliance is dissected by fans and critics alike, the weight of expectation threatened to smother the spark that had once burned so brightly on the streets of São Gonçalo. The early days at Real Madrid were a whirlwind of adjustments and harsh lessons. Accustomed to the freedom and raw passion of Brazilian football, Vinicius found himself in a disciplined, tactical environment where every move was measured and critiqued. His initial performances, though promising, were marred by uncharacteristic mistakes, missed chances, moments of hesitation, and the ever-present shadow of inexperience that made him an easy target for the harsh judgments of the media. Headlines soon began to paint a picture of a young prodigy struggling to live up to his reputation, with critics deriding his finishing and questioning his ability to adapt to the European game. The public scrutiny was relentless. Every slip-up was magnified. Every missed opportunity served as a reminder that, despite his natural talent, Vinicius was still learning how to survive in a world that demanded perfection. The criticism was not just an external battle, it cut deep into Vinicius's heart. In private moments, away from the bright lights of the stadium and the roar of the crowd, he grappled with a growing sense of self-doubt. The weight of expectation and the sting of public mockery were nearly unbearable at times. In interviews that revealed a more vulnerable side of the superstar, he spoke candidly about the loneliness and isolation that accompanied his early struggles in Spain. "There were nights when I questioned if I truly belonged on this stage," he admitted, his voice tinged with both sorrow and determination. It was a dark period in his career, where every training session felt like a battle, and every match was a test of his resolve. The criticism from fans, the derision from the press, and even the skepticism of some teammates began to take a toll on his spirit, leaving him wondering if the sacrifices he had made were all for naught. Yet in the midst of the storm, a spark was waiting to be ignited, a turning point that would transform Vinicius's journey from one of doubt and despair to one of triumph and undeniable brilliance. It was in the crucible of adversity that his true character was forged. Determined to prove his critics wrong, Vinicius doubled down on his training, immersing himself in every aspect of the game. He spent countless hours refining his technique, studying his movements on film, and seeking advice from seasoned veterans who had weathered their own storms in the world of football. The transformation was not instantaneous. It was a gradual, painstaking process of rebuilding not only his skill set, but also his self-confidence. Slowly, the young man who had once been overwhelmed by the pressures of a foreign land began to find his footing. One of the most pivotal moments in this transformation came during a high-stakes La Liga match that would later be described as the turning point in his career. With Real Madrid trailing and the clock winding down, Vinicius was given the freedom to express himself on the pitch. In a display of breathtaking skill and sheer determination, he broke through the opposing defense with a series of dazzling dribbles that left spectators in awe. The stadium, which had once been a place of harsh judgment, erupted in applause as he delivered a perfectly weighted pass that led to a decisive goal. That night, something shifted within him, a renewed belief that he was not defined by his past mistakes, but by his potential to overcome them. The roar of the crowd, the glimmer of hope in his eyes, and the palpable sense of destiny that hung in the air all testified to a rebirth. Vinicius had finally silenced the critics, if only for a moment, and he emerged on the other side stronger and more determined than ever before. As the seasons passed, Vinicius's transformation continued to unfold both on and off the pitch. With each game, he built a reputation not only as a lightning-fast winger with an eye for goal, but also as a player with an unbreakable spirit. His performances began to capture the imagination of football fans around the world, as he combined explosive pace with a newfound composure in front of goal. His journey was marked by a series of breathtaking moments, a stunning solo run that left defenders in his wake, a perfectly executed cross that split open a stubborn defense, and a decisive strike that turned the tide in critical matches. These were not merely moments of individual brilliance. They were declarations of defiance against the doubts and criticisms that had once threatened to derail his career. But Vinicius's ascent to stardom was not without further challenges. Alongside the rigors of high-level competition, he found himself at the center of a societal battle that transcended football. In a league and a country still grappling with the persistent specter of racism, Vinicius became an unwilling target for hate speech and discriminatory abuse. Incidents of racial abuse from sections of the crowd and online vitriol tested his resolve in ways that went far beyond the demands of the sport. Yet even as the hurtful slurs and demeaning chants echoed around him, Vinicius refused to be silenced. Instead, he harnessed that pain, channeling it into a powerful statement of identity and pride. In one of his most moving interviews, he spoke passionately about the need for unity and respect, declaring, "I play not only for myself, but for every child who has ever been made to feel less because of the color of their skin." His words resonated deeply, transforming him from a footballer into a role model, a beacon of hope for millions of young people who saw in him a mirror of their own struggles and aspirations. As the years progressed, Vinicius' story evolved into one of redemption and resurgence. His ability to rise above the harshest of criticisms, to turn every setback into a stepping stone toward greatness, became the stuff of legend. Key matches in the 2021-22 and 2022-23 seasons further cemented his status as a player who could change the course of a game with a single moment of brilliance. In one unforgettable encounter against a fierce rival, he not only scored the winning goal, but also provided 2 assists, orchestrating an offensive display that left fans and pundits alike in awe of his evolution. The media, which had once been quick to question his every move, now celebrated his transformation, lauding his maturity, his tactical intelligence, and his undeniable impact on the field. What is truly remarkable about Vinícius Júnior's journey is not just the spectacular skills he has developed, but the mental fortitude and unwavering self-belief that have carried him through his darkest moments. Every challenge he faced, be it the language barriers, the relentless pressure of high expectations, or the venomous attacks of racism, became a catalyst for growth. He learned that true greatness is not measured solely by the accolades or the number of goals scored, but by the strength to keep rising when the world seems determined to keep you down. Through introspection, hard work, and a deep connection to his roots, Vinicius transformed his pain into power. His story is a testament to the idea that adversity is not a sign of weakness, but an opportunity to discover the depths of one's strength and resilience. Off the pitch, Vinicius has become a symbol of hope and determination. He has used his platform to speak out against injustice, advocate for equality, and inspire young athletes to pursue their dreams despite the odds. He regularly visits schools and community centers in São Gonçalo, sharing his journey and encouraging kids to stay true to their passions, no matter what obstacles they face. His commitment to giving back is as profound as his commitment on the field, and it has earned him the admiration of fans not only in Spain and Brazil, but around the world. His message is clear: your circumstances do not define you, and every challenge you overcome adds to the richness of your story. In the locker room at Real Madrid, Vinicius' transformation has also fostered a sense of camaraderie and respect among his teammates. Veterans have taken him under their wing, offering guidance and sharing stories of their own battles with doubt and adversity. The mentorship he has received has, in turn, transformed him into a leader, a player who understands that true success is a collective effort and that lifting others up is just as important as scoring the winning goal. His humility and willingness to learn have made him a beloved figure in a club known for its fierce competitiveness and relentless pursuit of excellence. Each chapter of Vinícius Júnior's life reinforces one undeniable truth: that the road to greatness is rarely a straight path. It is filled with twists and turns, setbacks and triumphs, moments of despair and bursts of brilliant light. His journey is not defined by the mistakes he made early on or the criticism he endured, but by the courage he displayed in the face of those challenges. It is a story of transformation, a story that reminds us all that when the world tries to break you down, you have within you the strength to build yourself up even higher. Vinicius's incredible turnaround is a beacon for every dreamer who has ever faced insurmountable odds, a living testament to the idea that adversity can spark the most brilliant of rises. As we reflect on his journey, we see that Vinicius's evolution was not merely about mastering the art of football, it was about mastering himself. It was about learning to channel anger into determination, pain into purpose, and criticism into an unyielding drive to excel. His metamorphosis on the pitch mirrors a profound internal transformation, a journey from self-doubt to unshakable confidence. With every goal, every decisive play, he reaffirms his right to stand among the world's best, and in doing so, he lights a path for others to follow. Today, Vinícius Júnior stands as a shining example of resilience and transformation, a young man who turned the harsh winds of adversity into the fuel for his rise. His story reminds us that no matter how dark the night may seem, the dawn is always waiting, and that every setback carries with it the seed of an even greater comeback. When the world doubted him, When the pressure and prejudice threatened to silence his voice, he chose to fight back with greatness. And in doing so, he has inspired millions to believe in their own power to overcome. If you ever find yourself at a crossroads, overwhelmed by criticism or facing challenges that seem too great to conquer, remember the journey of Vinícius Júnior. Let his story be a guiding light, a reminder that every hardship you endure is a step toward the person you are destined to become. The passion that once drove him from the streets of São Gonçalo, the courage that carried him through the hostile corridors of European football, and the determination that transformed every doubt into a rallying cry for excellence. All of these are testaments to the fact that when you embrace your struggles, you unlock the true power of your spirit. As we near the end of this story, think about the lessons we can all take from Vinicius's incredible turnaround. His journey teaches us that setbacks are not endpoints, but rather the starting blocks for a new leap forward. It shows us that every challenge, every moment of pain, and every harsh word can be transformed into the building blocks of greatness if we dare to persevere. His life is a constant reminder that when you stay true to your dream, no matter how many obstacles you face, you have the power to rise, to shine, and to redefine what it means to be a champion. Now, as you carry this story in your heart, let it inspire you to overcome your own challenges. Let Vinícius Júnior's journey be the spark that ignites your inner fire. A call to action that says no matter how much the world may try to bring you down, you have within you the strength to rise again and claim your place among the stars. If this story has touched you, if it has reminded you that true strength lies in resilience and that every setback is merely a setup for an even greater comeback, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with anyone who needs to hear that message. Here at Pulse of Perseverance Story, we believe in the power of real stories, real strength, and real hope. Remember, when the world doubts you, you have two choices: fold or fight back with greatness. Thank you for joining me on this deep, emotional journey through Vinícius Júnior's incredible turnaround. May his resilience inspire you to overcome every obstacle. May his courage fuel your own dreams. And may his story remind you that no matter the challenges you face, greatness is always within reach. Stay inspired, stay determined, and never give up on your dreams. Real stories, real strength, real hope.